So we have been remembering our beloved Guru-pada-padma, Paramaradhyatam Astotra Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shri Gurudev. His Tirubhav Mahotsav, we recently observed, Disappearance Festival. Disappearance sometimes is necessary before reappearance. Sometimes separation is necessary to understand the value of meeting. So this is preliminary understanding of what is disappearance. Why Srimati Radhika left Rasa dance? Why? Didn't understand the value of Krishna. For herself she left? No. Didn't understand the value. Treated her very cheaply. So Krishna left, Srimati Radhika left. But did they die? No. That disappearance gave them opportunity for very deep sadhana, practice, to reunite or have real meeting. Upon that real meeting, then they could have proper understanding. So this disappearance leela of Sri Guru leads us to meeting with Sri Guru for the first time, really. Otherwise we think, oh, Guru is like something cheap we can find easily. But what is Guru really? This takes knowledge, education, practice, but sometimes it takes even more. It takes disappearance. Otherwise, everything is very easy and cheap. But who is Guru? What is Guru's nature? What is Guru's swarup? What is Guru's service? What is your relationship? What is reality? How are you going to understand that? Generally in spiritual life, when we begin, we're very enthusiastic. Because everything is magical. Right? Very magical life now, right? Full of magic. But if you don't make efforts to practice in advance, you have to be careful that magic doesn't. Magic is always there. It's your choice how much to experience it. The world is full of magic. The soul, our relationship with Sri Radha, Krishna and Sri Guru is magical. But we leave that aside to enjoy in the external world. Why do we leave it aside? Because it's easier. Negligence. That's why we leave it aside. We neglect our opportunity, which is very sad. Why is it sad? It's like being a prince, but instead we are washing plates in a hotel. Why? I don't want to follow classes to become a real king. So instead I'll rebel and I'll leave. So we hear this story from Vaishnavas. I don't want to get into this story right now. There are many stories like this. Imagine if you told some regular person, oh, I was a prince, but I left because I didn't want to become a king. Why didn't you want to become a king? No, I didn't. I wanted to be a king, but I didn't want any responsibility. So I only wanted to be a spoiled brat. And so instead I ran away thinking I'll enjoy in this world. But as soon as I left my kingdom, what happened? My position as a prince had no value. I had no money. I left my father. I don't need anything from you. It's all useless. Why? Why are you telling me to study and learn and follow rules and regulation, how to manage this and that? No. But then out in the world, what are we? We're not a prince, we're a pauper. And then, we grew up our whole life, easy food, nursery, games, pleasure, enjoyment, easy life. Everything very easy. Easily available. But out in the world, you have to fight for every scrap and suffer and toil. That is samsara. Right? Like Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. It wasn't a curse, it was reality. Now you have to struggle and work to maintain just the basic necessities of life. So this happened to the prince. Why? Neglect. Indifference, that is source and the root of all aparad. Seva-aparad, Dhamma-aparad, Vaishnava-aparad, Guru-aparad, neglect. Complacency and taking everything for granted. Then we become Guru Bhogi, enjoyers, and gradually we go Guru Tyag. First Guru Bhog, then Guru Tyag. Why? As soon as the Bhog runs out, then Tyag. As long as there's things there to enjoy, I'll enjoy them. As soon as they run out because I've enjoyed everything, then I'll renounce. Tyag. So now the question is, how to not be this kind of person, but instead how to take stock of our spiritual life and keep the magic alive. Don't think it's because of a lack of opportunity. It's because of a lack of seriousness. Our own spiritual progress is hampered by ourselves, not by any lack of proper tutoring or anything like that. If you're in a qualified association, good opportunities, and it is your responsibility now. Why? Even if Guru gives you everything you'd want, but you don't understand its value, then you're still like the story of Indra. Indra was living in this world like a hog because of his curse. Why did he get cursed? Because he was naughty, right? So he was living in this world. Oh, you like material pleasures, you like to not follow proper. He didn't respect, honor Guru properly. So many things happened. Sometimes killing Brahmins, sometimes this. We're not offending our Indradev, but he's teaching us this lesson also. Don't think a high position will last forever if you don't honor the responsibilities of that position. So this is also, I'm not speaking for you, this is also my self-reflection. Right? Oh, many sannyasis have come and gone. So I'm not speaking this also for you. I'm speaking this as general. My service here is some form of mentoring also. So I have to mentor myself as well. But don't think I take this cheaply. My service in life is to not take things cheaply. Bona fide. What does it mean to be bona fide? Don't take things cheaply. Follow properly. Why? You only cheapen yourself. Watering things down means watering yourself out. You're the milk. The more you water your spiritual life down, the more you water yourself out. Bye. Go, go, go. Back into samsara. Become a hog. Srila Govinda Maharaj, when he would give classes, he would have a stick and he would beat people in the front. You're a hog! Laying in a bed full of urine. Dogs and hogs. So this platform is necessary. Otherwise, how can we start talking about what is, right, Palyadasi moods, if you don't have any platform? First is Sandini, Shakti, Baladev, platform. First, platform is necessary. So this is the platform of spiritual life. Not to remain on utsahamayi, initial enthusiasm, but to have constant enthusiasm, utsahan. How will that come? Nishchayat, faith. How will faith come? God is real. Krishna is real. Faith comes from sadhu sangha, who knows that truth, who doesn't believe it. There's belief in God and there's realization of God. Understand? Someone believes there's a God, but someone knows God. What's more valuable? Your belief is valuable or knowledge is valuable? What is knowledge? Knowledge is direct darshan. Relationship is knowledge. Like someone may say, oh, I know about your mother. What do they know about your mother? They've heard her name from someone? They know your mother. Krishna is God, He is adoksaj, beyond your senses. So how do you know Him? With material senses. How are you going to know Him? Guru-pada-padma, chakshudhan diloje. Guru must give you that divine vision by your seriousness. Why? Because he may give the vision. If you're not serious, for you it's just like you don't have the eyes to see. What are the eyes to see? Not just faith. Why? One way of seeing is through the eyes of faith. But to have faith isn't just like, oh, I have faith in something. Having faith means I am like your harikatha, I am drinking. Like I'm a thirsty man in a desert. That is faith. Why? I'm suffering and I need help. I'm thirsty. If my life is perfect, I wouldn't be in this world. And if I was perfect, then I could be in this world perfectly situated. Right? That is Paramahamsa stage. To be a swan-like sage means it doesn't matter where you are. Kita janma ho jatatu adas. Even if you're in hell, you're blissful. Because you have your internal relationship, your heart. So Guru says, Chakshudhan diloje janme janme prabhu se divya gyan hriday prakashito. This is Guru-pada-padma. This is the way to keep that magic alive in your life. Are you striving forward for that divya gyan, divine knowledge? Are you willing to offer the intense practice necessary to achieve that self-realization? Right? They say there's no such thing as disbelieving God. There's those who know God and those who don't know God. You don't know God, so you say, maybe He exists, maybe He doesn't exist. This is called atheism. Maybe He exists, maybe He doesn't exist. Agnostic, who knows? Right? They say, just in case. Right? Jai, Om Jesus, Om Assalamu Alaikum, and Shivoham, Jai Hanuman, Jai Shri Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Durga Puja, Sab Kuch, Haribo. Cover all your bases, just in case. Cover all your bases. What benefit is that? It's like a blind man going into a store and just picking up things from the shelves and putting it in his cart. And doesn't even know what he's collecting. He's going out the market. So we're blind. Oh, this God, that God, the other God. Cover our bases, but do I really believe or not? No. Why? I have no darshan. How are you going to have darshan? In association of someone who has darshan. Then divya gyan hriday prakashito, by your effort also, divya gyan can come. Why? Mercy is always there. But even to receive that mercy, you have to have a vessel. Like it rains for everyone. Who's going to collect the rain? A mountain, stone collects the rain? No, falls down. Doesn't want it. Why? Neglect, indifference. Right? Many people can be in school, but who's going to pass the grade and go to the next class? That requires serious study, serious student. Then, quickly advancing, quickly advancing. So advancement isn't according to age. Seniority, I've been chanting for 40 years. What have you been chanting? What have you realized? Nam Rup Gun Lila, what is your conclusion in life? Right, you read the stories of Prahlad Maharaj and Bhagavatam. Follow this, follow this, follow this. Very quickly, bhav can come. Rati can come. Jaiva Dharma, Bhakti Thakur describes, after a few chapters, they're like a bhav bhakta. A few chapters means, a couple of years. Progress takes time because it teaches us patience. But neglect starts very subtly. It's like a snowball. One turn. No need this. Right? We come beginning, program is nice, arti is nice, japa is nice, sadhu sangha is nice, and then, no need now, and then gradually we diminish our enthusiasm, diminish our practice. Enthusiasm doesn't diminish because our enthusiasm diminishes because our effort, our sincere desire diminishes, and then what does Raghunath Das Goswami says? What is the danger? Asadvarta vesha vishradamati sarvasvaharani. This asadvarta, material sound, material engagement, is stealing away all our good intelligence, and enthusiasm is gone. So we have to be very serious. Otherwise we can remain like devotees for a long time. How long? As long as it takes to become serious. How long is that? Sometimes hundreds of lifetimes. But Gurudev would say, okay, no problem, there's a short time. Like when we become disciple, it means now we are like a daughter or son. Prince, princess. Princess, prince, so many princes and princesses. But sometimes Vaishnavas say, they're just like a prince and a princess. What does it mean? Spoiled. It's not enough to be a prince or a princess. You should become a king and a queen. What's the difference between a queen and a king and a prince and a princess in spiritual life? That means full maturity, spiritual maturity. Sadhana bhakti means, what is the process of sadhana bhakti and how I follow that path of sadhana bhakti to make spiritual advancement? For me specifically. So therefore it's required to have actual sadhu sangha and association, diksha or shiksha. Sometimes diksha is shiksha, teacher, and is also initiating. But according to my position, what is the best process for me to advance? Do I have desire for that? Or will I become complacent? No problem, one lifetime will advance. No guarantee. Right? Once you start sliding down a hill, you don't know how long it'll take to climb back up. Slide down Mount Everest, into the ocean, down the plains, into the Ganga, along the Ganga into the ocean. How long will it take to trek back up? So therefore Gurudev would say, don't waste this life. Labdva sutulabamidam bahu sambhavante manushamartatam anityam apiya diryaturnam yate tanapatet anumrityu yavan nishreyashaya vishaya kalu sarvatasyat. This life is wonderful. Why? It's temporary, fantastic. I'm going to die one day. This is a celebration. Let's celebrate. One day we'll die. Isn't this amazing? Aren't you excited? I'm excited. One day I get to die. This is so wonderful. Why would I want to live forever in this stupid, rotten body? So attached. My skin, clean, polished. My Facebook. Gramya Katha, Instagramya Katha. I will die. We should be excited. Why? This body is a gross lump of ignorance. Pathways leading to hell. Senses are a network of paths. What do we say? Sarira. Every day before we eat, what do we pray? It's a very interesting prayer. Right? Sarirara vidyajal. It's like a celebration. We're singing it very sweetly. Sarirara vidyajal jatendriyaya tehaka jivifale vasaya sagare taramaje javoimati lovamosa durmati take jita katina sangsare seyanamritapal. Right? The end is success. In the beginning it says, this body, sarirara avidya jal, it's a network of ignorance. See, Sarirara vidyajal jadendriya tahi kal. These material senses are leading us to death. Kal. So therefore we are excited. This body is temporary. Right? Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusambhavante manusham artadam anityam api anityam. It is temporary, therefore it's celebration. Yes, we don't have to be in this body forever. We don't want to be Hiranyakashipu party. Hiranyakashipu prayed, this material body should be immortal. We say, no, thank you, sir. Don't freeze me in an ice box. Right? Throw me to the bears. Right? Let me digest and use in something useful and move on. So anityam api hadira, but in this temporary body, why? If it wasn't temporary, how would you achieve your siddha deha? Spiritual identity, spiritual form. If this body was eternal, then how would we achieve our spiritual form? So therefore it's temporary. Yes, fantastic. So therefore we live out our prison sentence in this body and hope to please our warden, Durga Mata, Maya Devi. And how will she be pleased? Oh, her superiors, Yogamaya, Brinda Devi, Guru and Vaishnava say, oh, this one is ready to leave prison. No need to give them another prison cell. Like sometimes you have to change from one prison to another. There's a new body. Transfer from human body to tiger body. From tiger body to dog body. From dog to cat, cat to mouse, mouse to worm, worm to bacteria. And then up and down, up and down, up and down. This is life in samsara. But my body, oh, so sweet. Oh, I want to lick myself. Smear myself with honey and lick it. Oh, my body. So sweet. We are so attached. So attached. But labdva sudurlabham, we've gotten this human body. This is very special. Special birth. Why? 8,400,000 species of life. Now we're a human being. Not only a human being, it's described of all human beings, someone who is following Dharma is extremely rare. And of those who are following Dharma, not for only material enjoyment, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, but understand there's a God, understand what is the reality of Braj. This is so far beyond the conception of God. Radha, Krishna, Braj, Seva, all these things, these are so far beyond what anyone in the world could conceive of as the concept of God. It's the most elevated conclusion of all the revealed scriptures. And here we are now, with the knowledge and the capacity to perform sadhana bhakti to achieve the goal. Therefore, all our Goswami and our Guru Varga's bhajans, they usually end with this mood. Alas! Guru-pada-padma nabhajiyamainu. I have not performed bhakti, alas. Premarata nadhana helaya harainu. That jewel of prem was in my hands, but I lost it. Guru-pada-padma nabhajiyamainu. I have not worshipped Gaura Hari. So this is the platform. This is the platform of understanding. Then we can start with vandanam, prayer. Then we can perform bhakti seriously. Seriously doesn't mean like on a treadmill day and night. Seriously means seriously following bhakti under anugatya, seva, what is needed, how can I advance, how can I not take things cheaply and for granted. Then, labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusambhante, after many births I'm a human being. Manushyam artadam. In this human form of life, artadam, I can achieve the highest goal possible for any living entity. Anitya dhira. And this body is temporary, which is fantastic. I don't have to live in it forever. One day I'll be able to die. Hallelujah. Let's have a death day party preparing for this joyous occasion. We get to leave this miserable body, a lump of ignorance. But don't do anything, that's not the point. The point is seva, without attachment. This body is wonderful. I'm not saying it's temporary because it's bad. I'm saying it's good because we are in class and we need to go to the next class. So this is also real. This body is also real. And with this body, it's also a temple. So that's also aparad, to neglect this opportunity with the body to serve. Oh, I don't need to take care of the body. Nonsense. Oh, I'm sick. I don't need to take care of myself. Nonsense. This is all enjoyment. Your renunciation is your enjoyment. Smart, clean, sharp. This is seva. This body is Krishna's temple. Guru Maharaj is planting the seed of bhakti in my heart. My responsibility is to serve that, to water that, and to use this body in seva. Therefore, this is our ashram. Guru Seva Ashram. Guru Seva Academy. What does it mean to serve Guru? Right? This is the principle that our Vaishnavas are teaching. What is the process? Sarva sadhana mukyahi. Guru Seva Sadadrita. Of all processes of sadhana, Guru Seva is the topmost. Yaya bhaktir bhagavati. By this, bhakti to Bhagavan is easily achieved. Yanjasayad sukhabaha, and very blissful. So this body is amazing. The fact that it's temporary is a celebration only because we can experience Vastu Siddhi. And once we have Vastu Siddhi, then we can also serve in many bodies. Don't limit the soul and its potency. Braj, Gaur Leela, Braj Leela, wherever Guru Maharaj is going, wherever Acharya Leela is going on, wherever Krishna, whatever their desire is, we'll go. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, O Arjuna, you have lived many lives, but the difference is that you've forgotten them all, and I know them all. So once you become Siddha Bhakta, Siddha, then life is full of joy. Doesn't mean life stops or existence stops. Existence starts. Now we're in illusion. So that's why we say, realize self-realization. Now our self-conception is illusion. You are not this body. This is not you. But it is for now. Yes? It is for now. So use it wisely. I have this saying the other day. Why? Excuses are the tools of a weak mind. Your excuse is, oh, I'm not advancing. That's because you're weak-minded. Hridaya darbhalyam, weak at heart. How to become strong? Strong association. And then sometimes disappearance is necessary. Why? You're in that association, but you don't respect and honor it properly, then bye-bye. Punarmusika bhava, again suffer. Until you realize the value of what you have. So this is the platform. Disappearance, there's many kinds of disappearance, but there's no disappearance. Disappearance is our disappearance. We say bye-bye to Guru, and then he disappears. Like, please, I don't need you anymore, bye-bye. Okay, I'll go. But Guru is always appearing, and he's always present. He's in the heart, but we have to understand what is Guru Tattva, and then follow seriously. And what is the goal he's giving us? Why do we call it Swarup Siddha Bhakti? First, we're establishing the platform. Swarup Siddha Bhakti means eternally perfect by its very nature. Perfect. How do we achieve that Swarup Siddha position? Therefore, today is Ekadashi. Ekadashi is mother, but she's also like nurse. Right? What does that mean? Nurse is particularly taking care and making sure you're healthy and growing, being nourished. Nurse means nourishing. Right? That person who is nourishing you, that is your nourisher, your nurser. Okay? Nursing you to health. What is that nursing? Rasayana Kata. Harikatha is the process through which we are nourished to good spiritual health. That is the process. Oh, but Harikatha, there's many Katha. I am Harikatha. My mind, whatever I think, whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm going, this is Harikatha. What is my potency? Right? Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. Do I have that virya? Mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana kata. It enters through the ear, goes into the heart, and gives rasayan. That means rejuvenation, life. But Guru Vaishnava is speaking, it's like do 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 do. No absorption. Harikata, you should be like a thirsty person in a desert who hasn't drunk for days. And you want to catch it. But we heard this class, when someone has indigestion or a bad stomach, then everything is just passing out. They don't catch anything, but still here, something will stick, like ghee. Still you must hear, then something will stick to the walls of your intestines, and gradually you'll develop some proper understanding. Then paramartik shraddha can come. Now our faith is like, like we see a little flower, oh so sweet, komala shraddha. Komal shraddha means like a flower. Komal, very delicate. You know what happens to flowers? Many bumblebees come and they rip it to shreds. So your shraddha needs to be paramartik shraddha. That means conviction based on hearing, developing faith by following the process and becoming strong in bhakti. There are many kinds of neglect. It starts with the small thing. So now we're going to talk about Ekadashi and Ekadasa-bhava. Okay? You know what this is? Can you list it? Okay, no problem. It's good. You shouldn't know. But you should know it exists. Dornam yate tanapatet anumrittu yavan. Before you die, anumrittu yavan, you should make effort to realize your true nature. Nishreyasaya, in this human form of life, you can achieve the highest wealth, the highest goal of spiritual life. So therefore, don't waste this opportunity. And don't make excuses. I remember learning this as a kid. Excuses are like armpits. Everyone has more than one of them, and they all stink. They all stink. Oh, but this, oh, but, oh, but, oh, but, oh, but. What, do you want to butter something? Don't butter, be better. So Ekadasa-bhava means, by following Ekadashi, she's our nurse. Ekadashi Devi is a personality, manifesting from Krishna's 11 indriya, 11 senses. I don't know how, we'll go a little bit, we're not going to be able to cover the whole topic, right? But we'll touch upon it. Then we can continue. We're coming to the point of discussing what is the treasure that Mahaprabhu is speaking about. Right? That treasure is what is the Jiva Swarup, what is the Jiva Sambandha, what is the Jiva's eternal position and relationship. That is the treasure. Right? Bhakti, sadhan, bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Prema can't be experienced in this body, therefore it's temporary, fantastic. We want to taste prema, then this body cannot contain it. So we can go up to the stage of bhav. Like Narad Muni saw the Lord and he was overwhelmed with joy, and then the Lord disappeared. And he prayed and he wept and he prayed and he wept, and then finally he heard a voice saying, oh, live out your life, perform your seva, preach, chant and just spread the holy names. And when you give up this body, then you'll get a body by which you can actually experience me properly. Why? Na deva deva marchet. This body is not sufficient for transcendental service. But in this body, you can achieve Swarup Siddhi. Or anyone has Swarup Siddhi? You can interview Gaudiya Vaishnava world and say, have you achieved Swarup Siddhi? 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 What is that? That's the response you'll mostly get. What is that? You don't know? I thought you know that you're not this body. You never once bothered to ask if you exist even? If we say you are not this body, then what body are you, for bloody sake? This means negligence. I am a prince, I am a princess, but I am never a disciple. Why? I am a son and daughter of Guru. Oh, I have a father, yes. But am I going to be a disciple or just a darling daughter? A darling son? This is good. Why? This is acceptance, belonging. I am born. But now I should become a disciple. That means following discipline, advancing in spiritual life, putting in the time. They say in this world, if you want to learn an art, you put in 10,000 hours. But they have a follow-up to that. Like, for example, people work at a gas station 10,000 hours. They become perfect at it? Yeah. But you can also play the mridanga for 10,000 hours. You're going to become perfect at it? No. It means study. How can I improve? And also always push yourself at the line, the edge of your capacity, and try to increase a little bit. Try to learn a little bit more. Try to do a little bit better. Then you are advancing. Even a little bit at a time. So we are not this body. Now the question is, do we even exist then? Most people say no. That's the big, you open the box and inside is nothing. Wow. That's what most people believe in the West. Oh, I'm not this body. Why? This body is gross and ignorance. But what am I really? I don't know. People say that we just don't even exist at all. This is knowledge. In the meantime, we should be good and enjoy. It's a contradiction. This philosophy is contradicting itself. Shunyavad, there is nothing. Buddhism, there is nothing that exists. I don't exist, nothing exists. So then why try to do anything? Why do anything? This is nonsense. Right? Snake oil salesman, like we heard. Don't go in that direction. So what is the buried treasure? By performing bhakti, you'll realize what is your nature, what is your relationship, what is your actual identity. Then you understand that the Atma in this body also has some good utility, some purpose. Right? This body is also a miracle. Don't think it's just gross and ew. No, it's a miracle. But do you realize that it's a miracle, and do you use it properly? Do you respect the miracle that life is? I am alive. That is proof of the soul. Proof of God. My life is proof of God and my soul. Without that, I would not be alive. Life is proof of spiritual existence. Why? Because the body is dead, gross, inert, jad. So the fact that I'm alive means I'm a spiritual being. Have I realized my spiritual nature? Because this body is dead. So therefore, if we follow Ekadashi to realize that, that's why we fast. Right? Fasting. Nirjal. Very serious student here. Day before, only water. And then nothing. And then maybe one fruit. But also this should be under guidance. Your fasting, is that seva? So that depends. You have a doctor, that means you get specific prescription. Otherwise, go read a book. Leave. If you don't need a teacher, then leave. Go find a book in the library about spiritual life and read it. You don't need to be here. If you don't need help, then leave. And go read a book. There's many, many books you can read and you can find out whatever you want. But what is proper for you at this stage of your spiritual life, therefore you need a teacher. That's what they say is acharya. A teacher is someone who is not creating some new philosophy, but they're qualified to help you achieve that knowledge because they're situated in that position. Right? Like our Guru Varga, every acharya is not creating some new philosophy, but it's a living tradition for a reason. It means those who are being established in that position of spiritual life, and you can help raise people to that position of spiritual life. Therefore, this guidance is necessary. How can I advance in my spiritual life? Guru doesn't need anything from you. You need everything from Guru. Why? Some potency is in your heart. But how are you going to realize that? Right? Swarupa the Jiva means our spiritual nature is within us. They say the kingdom of God is within the heart. So we have that in our nature. But how are you going to realize that? But nowadays we're surrounded by impersonalism. So even in Krishna consciousness, everything is becoming impersonal. Right? I need to have a name tag on my shoulder. I am so-and-so disciple of so-and-so personality. But am I or am I not? That's the question. For most people, you are not. But you are. Achinta Beda Bed. Why? By mercy you are, by effort you are not. By mercy you are, so one day you'll make progress. Why? Guru's mercy is very powerful. It's never lost. Guru is very powerful and everything is dependent on mercy. But your effort enables you to realize the sweetness of that mercy. Otherwise, even if they give you the eyes, you close them. Chakshudan Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu say. So Ekadashi-bhava is a very high topic. Ekadashi-bhava means your soul has 11 characteristics. This is more than 11, but specifically in relation to your eternal Swarup. Right? Specifically in this Gaudiya line, in the path of Brajagopis, specifically those who are maidservants of Srimati Radhika. So for those in Sakya Ras, friendship with Krishna like a cowherd boy, for those in Vatsalya Ras, parents, for those in Dasya Ras, servants, for those in Shanta Ras, they also have processes. But this process and these 11 things are specifically for those who are aspiring to be maidservants of Srimati Radhika. And the greed, if you have that genuine greed, or you're put in a place where that position is there, then that means, right, you have some desire for it, therefore you are there. That means there's some potential for that, some indication for that. And maybe when you realize, like, not everyone in the Gaudiya Sampradaya will be like that. Many will be in another rasa. But this is actually the highest wealth of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Anarpita charimjlat samarpaitam unata ujvala rasam svabhakti shrim. This is the highest wealth. This is it. Everything else is also high. Like in Ramananda Rai Sambad, he says, in Madhurya Ras, all rasas are present. Just like in earth, fire, water, air, ether is present. But if you don't understand Madhurya Ras, you'll never understand the other rasas. So therefore you have to understand the highest thing and appreciate that. So Ekadashi is from the 11 senses of Krishna. The second form of Krishna. That's why Gurudev said every Ekadashi is equal to Janmashtami. So happy Janmashtami. Oh, today Janmashtami. And in 2 weeks again, Janmashtami. And then in 2 weeks again, Janmashtami. Every Ekadashi is Hari Vasar, Krishna's day. He says, I won't come just once because I'm so merciful. He's saying, I am so merciful. His Shakti is so merciful that she says, I will come again and again and again. This is Ekadashi Devi, not Ekadashi Dev. Ekadashi Devi. Also, she's called Ekadasi Devi, from the 11 senses of the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchite. So with this body, I'll perform seva and service. And this is also glorious. Seva Sadhaka Rupena. Siddha Rupena Chatrahi. What is Siddha Rup? That means your perfected form, your real form, your real identity. So gradually you have to, if you want relationship with Krishna and Srimati Radhika, you cannot serve there in this body. This body is not, why this body is sometimes smelly, right? They say in Archan Deepika, don't fart on the altar. Right? That means this body has some smelliness about it. It's not perfect, it's not divine yet. Aprakrita Deya Charana Bhajai. With a transcendental body, then you can be with Krishna. So are you working towards that? So Ekadashi-bhava, why is it Ekadash, 11? Why is it not Dasami, Navami, Astami, Saptami, Sasti, Panchami? Why is that day not Ekadashi? Why aren't we following Panchami today and fasting? Ekadashi also has some significance. 11 senses is referring to Manjari and Saki position. Why? Ekadashi-bhava, why? 11, why? Because it said only Krishna and only in Madhurya Ras can you engage all of your senses in Krishna's service. Therefore they say Ram also is complete but not most complete. Because Ram says only Sita. I have one wife. But Krishna is so merciful, he accepts everyone. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Bhakti is seva or transcendental loving service performed by all the senses. Sarva upadi vinurmuktam, when you get rid of all material designations. Tat paratvena nirmalam, then you're completely spotlessly pure, nirmal. Nirmal means you were once mal, but now you're clean. Nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesha. Then serving the master of the senses with your senses is a very sweet word. Rishikesh is not, oh, he is my master. Kesh, Keshav. Kesh is very sweet, and Rishi is very sweet. Why? If I don't have senses, then I don't exist. Then how am I going to serve? And if I can't serve, that means I can't express my love. Service is how you express your love to someone. So you don't have love, that means you don't want to serve. And you don't, right? But Ekadashi means all senses. Sakyaras cannot do this. Vatsadyaras cannot do this. Dasya Shantaras cannot do this. Madhurya-ras alone, all Indriya can be engaged in Krishna Seva. Not just Indriya. What is some of the Indriya? Man, Buddhi, like Prem. Prem is something that is emotional. So it's not just the senses, but the heart, the spirit, the life, the pran, all is engaged in one's loving service. So this is possible in Madhurya Ras completely. That's why it said this is complete bhakti. Complete bhakti. There's so many topics to this, right? Why we have to understand what is the importance of shelter of Srimati Radhika and so forth. What is the different positions of Sakis? What are the position of the queens in Dwarka and so forth? What are the different levels of Rati, Samartha Rati, Samanjasa Rati, Sadharani Rati? All these different things should be understood. Gurudev asked me once in Houston, what is Samanjasa, Samartha, and Sadharani Rati? What is it? I was shy, nervous, and he'd asked all the sannyasis, no one answered properly. And Gurudev asked me, he said, don't worry, you will know. You will know. Wait. Okay? But you will know doesn't mean just wait for it to happen. It means become a serious student and practice. Serious student means serious practitioner. So we'll just cover this in brief, and we'll continue this topic. Right? Bhakti leads to prem. Prem is only properly experienced in a spiritual form. Right? This body cannot contain that level of transcendental ecstasy. So you go up to stage of bhav, and then you give up this body, and you achieve siddhadeha, spiritual form. Then with that spiritual form, then you can express and experience prem, love. Love isn't just an emotion. Love is an active verb. I love you. Do you really? Love means loving engagement. Therefore it's said, prem is seva, seva is prem. In its perfected form, you experience the sweetness. In unperfected form, you experience like, oh, I have to cook for Krishna. Oh, I have to give him a garland. I have to dress Radharani. Oh, so much hard work. But when you have some love and you do it with love, it's so sweet. So Ekadash means, in this path, there are 11 elements that help you achieve that realized state, while still as a sadhaka, practitioner. This is not something to jump to. This is something to walk to. You have to walk, but you have to walk uphill. And you have to have a guide to keep you out of the weeds and from leaving the path and going astray. And you also need a protector. Why? Asatchesta kasta prada vikata prasali virima. While you're walking on the path in spiritual life, many dacoits will come. Lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and also many so-called friends try to pull you down. So if you're really following spiritual life, your friends become few and carefully selected. Who is your spiritual friend? Then you can have many friends, but that means then you are their well-wisher. Are you ready to be a well-wisher? That means if you advance in bhakti, you give mercy to those who are not on your level. But you don't associate and come down to their level. You give association, you don't take association. You give association, you don't take it. Then you do. But many friends are there. Everyone is your friend. Everyone is your family. But spiritual friend is very important. Otherwise, many friends will say, oh, let's just take a rest break. Let's go to this hotel on the path. And what is in that hotel? Oh, don't worry, they cook meat in those pots, but they cleaned them with soap, and now they're making veggie soup. Veggie soup or what soup, who knows? They say, oh, we use the same broth. What is that broth? It's chicken broth. But we put vegetables in it. Veggie soup. And your friends will say, oh, what is the big deal? We are vegetarian. And anyhow, this is just water. And anyhow, the body is any flesh anyway. What is the big deal? Let's smoke something and party and drink and, oh, let's do this together. So this is not friendship. This is killer of your soul. Therefore, Vaishnavas say, Svajanakya dvesh. Your own friends become your worst enemies. It's dangerous, spiritual life. Family, kutumba, friends, pull you down to hell. Because they don't want to advance, they don't want to let you advance because it makes them feel insecure. But they don't want to advance, otherwise they would be advancing. If they want to advance, it's easily available. Why? You have a human form of life and you've heard about Krishna and you've achieved some knowledge of Guru. So you advance. Okay, so Ekadashi means, what is your name? You have a name? Okay, you have a name, good. Guru is giving name, that is spiritual, that is powerful. But you shouldn't be satisfied with this. But you also shouldn't jump to this. I'm giving a principle. I'm not telling you to run towards it. Why? Because then it becomes cheap imitation. Perform sadhana. Serve. Be serious. Okay? So Nam. You have a form. In this world you have a name, you have a form. So you don't have a name and a form in the spiritual world. Right? Vaya and Vesh. There are many kinds of, many ages. Right? But in spiritual life, we're always Nitya Kishore Kishori. Even those who are elder gopis, they're always youthful. Right? Like Purnamasi may be, in one sense, look more aged. But she is not aged. She's always Kishore Kishori. Why? Full of life. That means youth. She's therefore also Brinda Devi. So it's described that this is given as a process of archan actually. The details are given by Jnana Goswami in the line of Gadadhar Pandit, Dhyanchandra Padati. So he says it's not, okay, you have one specific age, but it doesn't mean you're stuck in time forever. The point is that this is best age. Right? For Krishna Lila, sometimes Balya Lila, sometimes Bhoganda Lila, sometimes Kishore Lila. Don't limit the soul. But specific age for your specific service, specific Vesh means, right, what is your natural attire? That is fourth, attire. Dhyanchandra Goswami describes something in general, but something specific is also there. Like even what he describes, Guru Maharaj in his Seva Kunj painting is wearing according to Dhyanchandra Padati. Right? And Guru Maharaj's bluish complexion, Lenga. This is what's described there. But specific, maybe another also. Specific is something also. Specific is described by Vaishnavas. But description and realization is very different. Realization is much more valuable. There's an example. This is why this can't be cheap. This is why effort is required. Because mercy means, oh, go to Guru and they just tell you this is who your name is, this is your form is, this is your color, your vesh, your so forth and so forth. Without capacity to understand that, it just becomes a mockery. Right? So Gurudev Vaishnavas tell the story of a blind man and someone brought him milk. Oh, what is milk? Milk is white. What is white? White is, very clean, pure light. Like you've ever seen like a swan or a crane, white. No, what is that? Crane is like this and has this little beak thing here. What is that? Oh, beak is like a knife. What is a knife? Knife is sharp, feel it. Oh, cut. I don't want milk. Why? Milk is painful and sharp. So even if they were to tell you and give you that mercy, chakshu dhan diloje, you have to be ready for it. That's why it's both your effort and mercy. But mercy is there in the beginning, effort is there in the middle, mercy is there at the end, mercy is there in the middle. Ultimately, it's required mercy. Ultimately, this mercy is given. Then you realize. But you'll realize not by them telling you, but by you following and realizing. Praying, oh my, may this curtain of illusion lift from my eyes and may I see the reality. So then there's next. What is Agya Seva, Parakasta? Agya means, no, before Agya Seva, Parakasta, you have, what is Sambandha and Jut? What is my relationship there? Right? You don't just exist in a vacuum and a void as one thing. You have relatives, you have relationship. So from there we have many branches of details. Why? Spiritual family life, very vast family, big family. But first, one. That's why we say Guru is one. Guru is one principle, Akhanda Guru Tattva, but Guru is one. That person who is giving you that relationship to Krishna, Srimati Radhika, and service to the Juts, that is one person. Then they will connect you to another, and to another, and to another, and to another. But first one. Sambandha. Then Jut, group. What is our group? Right? There's mainly in our line, we'll be in, if we're following this process, and if that is our Swarup nature, this is not for everyone. Brihad Bhagavatam is written for Gopkumar, to achieve Sakyaras. But this Ekadasa-bhava is specifically for those aspiring to be made servants of Srimati Radhika. Specifically for them. So, maybe in any one of the Astasakis groups. Maybe. Don't have a sour face. Many Astasakis, but prominent in our line is, there's two paramparas in our line. This is a very interesting thing. Very interesting thing. That's why people don't understand Gaudiya Vaishnavism. I can understand. Well, there's Bhara Parampara here, and Shishya Parampara here, and Diksha, and then there's Shiksha Guru also sometimes different. Diksha Guru, and there's this, and there's that, and then there's, Krishna Hoite Chaturmukha, Hoite. But then why do we say Swarupanuga Parampara? Why is it called Swarup Rupanuga Gaudiya Parampara? It means there's two lines, but they're one. They go along. Shakti, Shaktiman line. So Krishna, Lord Brahma, Narad, Vedvyas, and so forth. And then who? Srimati Radhika, Lalita Devi, Rupa Manjari. Gurudev said, this is my parampara. Gurudev said, my parampara is Srimati Radhika, Lalita Devi, and Shri Rupa Manjari. He said, why? I'm taking their remnants, therefore I'm theirs. So this is Jut. Right? Therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Lalita Sakira Ayogya Kinkori Vinoda Dharichipai. I am a Ayogya Kinkori, unqualified, right, servant, follower, and the Jut of Lalita Devi. So this is usually there, but not always. Chitra Saki, Vishaka Devi, Champakalata, Ranga Devi, Induleka, Tungavidya, and these are all, none is higher or lesser. Everything is according to your nature and your relationship and is perfectly sweet. Then, Sambandha jut, then agya seva parakasta. These are three things. Agya means, what is my seva? Not seva, but what is my agya? That means something that is received. Right? Who is your group leader? That is your guru. And how are they engaging in service? First you need father, then you grow up. Your father may be your Janme Prabhu or may not be, but first respect the father. Otherwise you have no family. So that's guru, first respect. Diksha guru, father, first respect is there. But later maybe bhajan guru, maybe shiksha guru, maybe diksha guru also. No guarantee. But agya comes from who is engaging you in seva. Oh, do this seva for Krishna, this seva Srimati Radhika, this. Agya is many. Why? This means kinkari. What to do? So people say, oh, everything in our mat is, Gaudiya mat is meant to resemble how you can advance and achieve that state. So therefore sevak is best, pujari is best, cook is best, and bandari. These are like very high sevas. Easy to fall, easy to advance. Agya means, oh, today this seva, the next day this seva, oh, I don't want seva. I don't want agya. Agya means receiving and following instructions. That is agya. Receiving and following. Then, seva means your special seva. What is like your heart's cherished, activity. What you like to do best. There are many sevas, but one particular seva. Oh, like every day you get to do this, and for you it's like bliss. That one thing that is like even in our life, right here, you have one particular seva. But you have many assortments of varieties of flavors that enhance the sweetness of your one seva. Otherwise say, lock him in a room and only give him a computer to type books. Eventually you'll say, oh, he's like, yes, good idea. Put a slot and pass him food in. This is seva. Okay, then parakasta means what is your most cherished aspiration? There are many kinds of aspirations, right? But the roadmap is in books like Vilap Kusumanjali. What are the different varieties of service? This is also archan. But we pray, Sri Rupa Manjari Kararchita Pada-padma Gostendra Nandam Bhujarpita Mastakaya Ha Modata Kanaka Gauri Padaravinda Sambahanani Sanakaistava Kinkarishye. Right? This service to Srimati Radhika is our most cherished aspiration. Many kinds of service are there, no problem. Tambul Arpana Pada Marjana and so forth. Then, last two. What does it mean to be Palyadasi? And what does it mean? What is your nivas? Nivas means your residence, your home. And what is who is your protector and maintainer? Palya means like to have pati. Have someone who maintains and protects you and cares for you. Then you have a caretaker. This is meaning you give up all false ego. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. I'll make my own world. I'll be my own God. All those are available to you. You do bhajan, you can achieve Vaikuntha, you can have your own planet like God, never have to suffer. That's all available for you. Don't think these things are not available or they are bad. But if you want that highest thing, now you have to give up that ego. Otherwise you can worship God and have a planet like God and be worshipped like God and enjoy everything, all bliss, no problem. You can have it if you want it. But if you want that sweetest service of the divine couple, api tyaktva Lakshmi patirate mita vyomanayanam. Even give up that attachment to Lakshmi Narayan. Only Braje Radha Krishna Manasi Seva. Braje Nava Yuva Dhanda Smarane. Only worship that divine couple. And then final, Nivas. What is your residence? What is your home? Here we have home. There you must have home. But what is our aspired Nivas? That's where you're not in Javat. That is something there. Vivaha habe. But where is my provider and maintainer? Where is Guru's Kunj? That is my eternal residence. So Gurudev showed this in Seva Kunj. This is his home. That means this is all his disciples' home. Gradually, okay, their kunj are there, but what is primary space? Our ashram is Guru's Kunj, not another's Kunj. It's Gurudev's place. Right? And we're trying to bring people to Gurudev's place, not make a new place. So, therefore we are preaching and collecting jivas and saying, oh, come to Gurudev's Kunj. What is that? Seva Kunj, non-different. So this is a brief introduction. There are so many things to talk about here. This is the teaching of Srila Rupa Goswami in our Guru Varga, Nitya Siddhasya-bhava Prakritam Hridi Sadyata. How can we achieve that Nitya Siddha Bhav? Right? Therefore, qualified or unqualified, how to become qualified is the question. So we've been singing these bhajans now for 20 plus years. Right? So that means become qualified. That's why you do it again and again and again. Become qualified. Don't jump. Then you can value the present moment in every moment. This body is wonderful. Great vehicle for service. Why? It's the boat leading me to perfection. So don't don't poke holes in your boat, or if there are a hole poked in your boat, don't not patch it up. Take care of your body. Value your body. Don't reject it and not neglect it and so forth. Don't neglect it. But understand it's getting you somewhere. Don't be attached, therefore. Otherwise, you reach the shore and you say, I'm going to stay on the boat. Right? So this is a brief introduction. We're praying to Seva Kunj. Don't see things according to your mundane vision. That's what our prayer is. We're living in a reality, but not the reality. Understand? This world is real, we are real, we're in these bodies, it's not illusion, it's real. This world exists, we exist in this world. We are soul now, experiencing this moment. And we're also embodied. So with this body, like a vehicle, use it to get to your destination without being attached to the car. You don't need a new paint job, right? You don't need an implant. You don't need steroids. You don't need liposuction, all these things. Take care of your vehicle nicely. Why? Guru doesn't like dirty, smelly cars. Clean, nice, everything good. How are you going to prepare for that seva if you can't take care of this machine? So take care of this machine without attachment. Devotees sometimes get sick. This is mercy, to teach them detachment. So don't be attached to sickness or non-sickness. But don't be attached to sickness either. Don't be attached to being sick. Don't be attached to not being sick. And wear socks. Okay? Right? Then we can one day achieve that position. So we're praying for that. This is our mood, this is our prayer. Then we can understand and talk about Gurudev. Otherwise, we'll never understand Gurudev. Understand what is Gurudev's Ekadashi-bhava. But understand this is only an introduction, this is only a process of dhyan, meditation, leading you to a realization. So also don't be attached to this. Let this help lead you to that. That is the purpose of bhakti. That is the reason for following this process. So if you're not interested in that, it means you're not interested in bhakti. If you're not interested in realizing what is your relation with Krishna and in relation with Srimati Radhika in service, then you're not interested in bhakti. So we're interested in that. That is our process of soul research. So here we are starting. You can think this is like our first class. For what? Sri Guru Academy, Sri Guru Seva Academy. But what is Sri? Sri is for Srimati Radhika, and Sri is for soul research. Right? Spiritual research. What is my soul? Spiritual research, initiative. Right? I shall take initiative and initiation in the spiritual science. Because I also have to do something. I have some work to do myself. Right? Sri Guru and Seva. Without Seva, there's no question of Sambandha. Relationship is there, but Seva thickens and sweetens and matures relationship. So this is important. All right? And here we are all das. What does it mean to be das? Practicing the devotional arts and sciences. Okay? Devotional arts and sciences. So this is our university. This is our academy. Sri Guru Academy, our Bhakta Bandhav Srila Gurudev, he is our Sri Guru. Right? Sri is for Srimati Radhika, and for realizing what is our spiritual nature, spiritual research initiative. Right? Take responsibility and progress in this path. And we're all aspiring to be das, anudas, anudas. So this academy is covering all these subjects, all devotional arts and sciences, not just science. Science is dry. Arts are sweet. So art and science, sweetness and proper application of the study. Understand? What are the devotional arts? What are the devotional sciences? Both, right? The art of self-realization and the science of self-realization. Both are important. Okay, what is the art of self-realization? What is the science of self-realization? Both are required. Then we can say, I am a student. Not just a princess and a prince. Prabhuji was very happy when I came here. He said, oh, I'm happy. Now you're not a prince. Hard work. I said, I'm always working hard. He said, yes. But hard work when you realize that you have to do it. No one's holding you by the hand. Right? You're being taught how to fly the plane, now you have to fly the plane. You've been taught how to drive the car, now you have to drive the car. Then you're doing spiritual research. So don't be a child. Be mature. But be a child because you're a child. But try to become mature and be a serious practitioner. Then we can achieve the goal of spiritual life. Otherwise, we're just following something that is, right, chasing our tail. Until we get bored of this game and we go to another one. The opportunity is yours. Okay? Gaur Premanandi.